That's just one person saying that, though. What does the tooltip say when you hover over the different types of forts? Coastal fort. Inflicts attack penalty -15 for every fort level on the attacker in a naval invasion combat. In combat, attacking from multiple directions will reduce the fort's effect. It doesn't actually say. What about the crossing? Is there a crossing icon? I don't think there is, which is very annoying. Because that is a very good question. Fortress Holland. Holland, 2 coastal forts. And 2 land forts. Maybe both do. Southward Defence builds even more coastal forts in Holland. But I think that's mostly against naval invasions. Yeah, that's against Britain. But against Germany, Germany is unlikely to naval invade. So I think those 2 coastal forts in Holland are to defend against naval invasion. That bloody good question, thank you. So let's also build 3 levels of coastal fort here. That's probably the same Reddit page I just found. Yes, it is. That was the one person that I saw who actually answered the damn question, though no evidence. Okay, so we've expanded our R&D facilities, so I think it is now time to sort out our government. I think last time I made a mistake and went down this too early. We do need to prepare the inundation lines before the war breaks out. But well, I still think it's too early to form this new government, because then we'll lose the rather tasty -10% civilian factories. So you know what, let's obtain the foreign colonial investments. Crown and Jewel Colony. Then do these, because this gives us infrastructure and building slots. Though they are strongly anti-colonialist, the Americans have nevertheless long had an economic interest in our colonies. In particular, the West Indies. Along with the British and the Japanese, they yearn to make investments in our colonial development, both in the West and the East. We should encourage this. And now we can do another technology. So we've got the text there that I want to do. I think I would like to have support weapons 1. Hindenburg incident. Disaster was narrowly averted today when a diesel fuel leak was discovered on the German passenger airship Hindenburg as it came into dock at the Lakehurst Naval Air Station in the United States. The leak was promptly repaired. Had it gone unnoticed, flammable vapor could have resulted in a fire that would have engulfed the entire airship. Since technically crossing the strait isn't a naval invasion, I don't think coastal forts will do anything, hence the question. Because there are fairly strong arguments for either case. Was it hard to choose to root for the Netherlands or England? In what instance, Tim? Make some progress in Colonial Tree and then rush for the Secret Staff talks. Secret Staff talks. What? Oh, here. These make it possible to obtain equipment, offensive and defensive combat bonuses, land doctrine, research bonuses, and government and exile legitimacy. That one sounds like it's something you want to do when you've actually fallen. Oh no, you have to be at peace for this. Interesting. In that case, I think that these can wait. And yes, we are going to go down to secret staff talks. The government can wait. Hopefully we have time for all of this. The Chinese United Front forms. Chiang Kai-shek and Mao Zedong have issued a joint announcement declaring that they have both set aside their differences in the face of Japanese attack. Both sides will observe a strict policy of non-aggression towards each other for as long as the war against Japan lasts, and vow to do everything in their power to throw back the invader. Unstable alliance. Now let's get the infantry equipment designer, which I'm actually doing right now. I don't know if that impacts how quickly this gets researched. That would have actually been an excellent opportunity to look. For this evening, there is the Nations League. I don't even know what that is, Tim. Football of some kind. Obviously the Netherlands. How have I never heard of this before? But yes, to answer your question, Netherlands. Easily. Don't even need to think about that one. Shaanxi has joined the Chinese United Front. Earlier today, China and Shaanxi issued a joint statement that the latter has now been formally granted member status of the Chinese United Front. Whether this partnership will be used for offensive or defensive purposes remains to be seen. We have passive sonars. We've already got depth charges. I think I want to get this smoke generators and probably... Oh no, that's improved. Float planes. Or better artillery. Could also be useful. Or motorized, or radio. Right, we can get 2 years ahead of time on this in only 94 days. You know what? I'm going to hold out and get this one 2 years ahead. Let me just see exactly what it says about Philips, because that was a part of that tech I totally forgotten about. 100% research bonus in electronics, reduce ahead of time penalty by 2 years and give a 100% research bonus, valid for the next one research of these technologies electronics. Oh, okay, I can't actually hold that one over, can I? So yes, we want to do this as soon as possible. That's too bad I didn't get I didn't get this and then Philips, because then I could have rushed for the 1948%. Like, way ahead of time. Oh well. We'll grab it. We have heavy fighters now, do we not? We do. So I think I'm going to reduce all production by a bit and then start working on the heavy fighters. Where are my planes? Sulawesi, that's not very useful. Let's bring you back over to the Netherlands. Trade interdiction, cool. Let's continue down the convoy interdiction line. Have they arrived? No. Yes. Can I change what kind of plane you're using? I cannot. Not a problem. Because I would much rather... have the heavy planes, but I can't even set you up. Because that requires manpower, and I have none. What I can do, though, if I do this quickly enough, I guess... Yes, I can. It's paused. We're good. Good. Can do this in multiplayer. And then have you start to train here in the Netherlands. Because those planes I can replace. What are heavy fighters good for? I've never used them, not even once. Heavy fighters are really good at shooting down bombers. So fighters are your main anti-fighter defense. Heavy fighters are your main bomber defense. They're really good at interception. They also have a much longer range. So here in Europe, you generally want to use just fighters, but because I'm also expecting to be fighting in Indonesia, where the airspaces are much bigger, heavy fighters are great. Like China, you probably want to use heavy fighters instead, because the air zones are just bigger. Would a Japanese heavy fighter be called a sumo wrestler? Touche, troubleshooter, touche. So from what I'm reading on the wiki, there are actually no combat modifiers explicitly for straight crossings, only for large rivers and amphibious assault. Yeah, hence the problem. It's not actually catalogued anywhere. You know what? I have a place I can ask this. Thanks to the 3-day war. Okay, I've used my uber secret resource to ask that question. And we'll see if there's a response. Marco Polo Bridge Incident. Japanese and something. Chinese forces have skirmished inconclusively over the strategic Marco Polo Bridge located just southwest of Beijing. China has rejected Japan's demands for an apology and territorial concessions, claiming instead that the breaking point of Japanese aggression has been reached. Zibai Sanma joined the Chinese United Front earlier today. China and Zibai Sanma issued a joint statement that the latter is now formally granted member states of the Chinese United Front. They got Guangxi, that's really good. Earlier today, China and Guangxi clique issued a joint statement. The latter has now been formally granted. So China is actually very united against Japanese aggression. Like, this is really good for China. They rarely get that much unification before the war breaks out. Okay, so we want to get the secret talks as soon as possible. Because you can only do that when you're at peace. Thank you for pointing that one out. The economy has begun recovering surprisingly quickly after we abandoned the gold standard. The military budget cuts we were forced to implement to keep the Calder from devaluating now can be overturned. Didn't intend to generate this much discussion with that question. It was a good question, though. Those are the kind of questions I like. Neon, if you type !Discord, that'll link you to the Discord. And everyone else. Subtle nudge. Nudge, nudge. If China falls quick, Japan's going to be all over me. This is why I'm getting so excited about the fact that China is united. Exactly like so. While tension continues to grow. You guys could do with a bit more training. Support weapons 1, done. Still 37, so not really time to do those. You know what I would like, though? Motorized, so I can get hospitals. And Yunnan. That's 100% unification. Earlier today, China and Yunnan issued a joint statement that the latter has now been formally granted member states of the Chinese United Front. And we've got the computing machine. Yep, that's all of them. Well played, China. That's going to be much harder for Japan to take out now. Okay, technology. We still have a 100% ahead of time bonus, which I could totally use to get improved computing machines later. You know what? I think we're going to wait until like 1939, and then we'll grab the computing machine. Because getting that early is such a huge advantage. Could do with better artillery, but no, we actually need some more of these industrial techs done. Let's get dispersed industry. And the forts are actually almost finished. Let's see if we can get to level 5. On all of those. And 2 more coastals in Holland. Yeah, I think I focused a little bit too heavily on the bikes last time, so I'm not going to do that this time. Because they weren't that effective, if I'm being quite honest. Some AT could be useful. You're not wrong. Maybe support AT. Or possibly I could go 1 artillery, 1 AT for my divisions. Although I don't know how much anti-tank we're going to come up against. What we could actually do is 2 artillery, an AT and an AA, and then 1 less infantry. I like that plan more. So our units are not going to have a lot of organisation. That's going to be the downside, but they're going to have a crazy amount of damage. Alright, budget cuts are overturned. Appoint the new Supreme Commander. And we do, of course, also need to prepare the inundation lines. Oh, that's the land fort construction speed. Let's do that one first. Ever since our independence war against the Spanish in the 16th century, inundation or the intentional flooding of the land has been an integral part of our defences. Properly prepared, it will save us again. We have yet to see a tank who can cross water. And tanks that can cross water we call ships. And definitely not amphibious tanks. See ya, Shadowhawk. 36 aircraft. Do we not have those yet? We do. I was going to double check that there wasn't like a 33 heavy fighter, which is what we were rocking with. But no, we have the planes I want. All 1 of them. Stop you drilling. You're probably just crashing all the planes that we're producing. How's the war over here looking? Pretty stalematy so far. Bit of an invasion here towards Nanjing. But they are fighting on all 3 fronts, so that is all fortified. How's China doing militarily? They're still on civilian economy. Volunteer only with 2.7 or 2.5-ish million people to fight. Yeah, crazy amounts of manpower. Crazy. What are heavy fighters good for? Just got here. Range. Range is the main thing. Maybe send them an attaché. I could do. Actually, yes, I could well do that. No, I can't. Oh, because of the poor war support means I have no command power. Interesting. What does this actually do? High military cooperation give us benefits to developing both of our strengths. I've never sent an attaché in this game. I have no idea what they do, actually. It just gives you experience, doesn't it? Right, one other thing I did want to do was take a look at the naval ships and then the KV class. Let's take a look at the outdated ones too. Because we have a couple of the tier 1, 09 and 03. So the 09 I'm going to guess is the more modern. 1 and 1. 1 and 1. What's the difference? These two ships are actually identical. Okay. We can, however, upgrade your torpedoes. +4. And we're going to call this the 010. Should be a pretty quick upgrade. Then we're going to refit our submarines. To become an 010. 4 days each. We can do that. Two dockyards are currently being used for repairs, but they will switch to the other stuff later. That's fine. Italy announces claims on Yugoslavia. Prepare inundation lines. Done. Just want to get the subs pumped out as quickly as possible. Because our submarines are going to be pretty important, because they're one of our definitely useful ships, because they can actually fight pretty good. We are going to go with Point, the new Supreme Commander. Our Supreme Commander is proving to be rather obstinate in his adherence to outright impossible defensive plans. He should be replaced. Henry Winkleman should be recalled from retirement, and would probably serve to be a more amenable alternative. And then I also want to take a look at my remaining ships, particularly the destroyers. Where I may want to try and make a unified destroyer template as well, seeing as these are both level. Whoa, the rotors are way more expensive than Van Halen. Why? 111 radar 1. Because you have float planes? Is that why? And actually, both of these destroyers, for what they are, serve their purpose fine. Although you could definitely do a sonar. Wait, which base was that? Van Halen? Are float planes really that expensive? Oh, wait, you're a cruiser. That's way more expensive. Duh! Van Gent, that's the other one. Gent's are mine layers. I'm not interested in mine layers. So we're going to go with Van Halen. And we're going to add hydrophones to you. And we're going to call this the Van Arnhems. Gent is a place. Halen, I don't know where the name is from. Excuse me. Then we're going to go to our navy. We're going to upgrade all of those into RNMs because I don't care about mine layers. And that's going to be really good for now. Now, do the Dorotas and Javas want to be upgraded too? Let's see what the difference in those are. Dorota and Java. Java is more expensive again. How much is that? Production cost 150. They are quite expensive. What's the difference? You have the extra battery. Which does make you rather more expensive. So we're going to call this the Dorota 2. And we're also going to go for the Java 2s. Which is also going to have a hydrophone. And I'm going to rely on the fact that we have enough destroyers to actually hunt these down. Although we could, I thought. Oh no, we can't. Yeah, we'll just add the hydrophones. This is fine. So we want the Dorota to be upgraded to a Dorota 2. And the Javas to be updated to the Java 2s. Then these submarines I'm going to trust are good enough. And that's going to be the Hertog and the Sorabaya. And these are heavy cruisers, I assume. Yes, they are. Very, very slow heavy cruisers. Could make them a fair bit quicker, but I don't think I will. I think these guys are just going to stay as they are. Then Hertog. Don't even have the extra ornaments. Even slower, good grief. Okay, heavy cruisers. My heavy cruisers suck really badly. Alright, so we have a lot of ships to upgrade now. And I'd very much like that to be completed before the war. So we're definitely doing the submarines first. Then we're doing the destroyers. And then the cruisers. Yeah, that's fine. Carry on. Hi, Destiny. Any worked out on ship upgrades? What one can and can't do. Sometimes refits seem fine, other times you can't refit for no reason. I'm really hoping that's a bug, Greystroke, because that should have appeared here, because it certainly would have in the West Indies Federation game. But it didn't. So hopefully that's fixed. Are we going to nuke Japan? Probably not. But maybe. Destroyers are named after naval heroes. Von Kent was an admiral. Oh! Wait, the destroyers are or the cruisers? Because I know Dorota was an admiral. And that would suggest that we need a Von Tromp as well. Yeah, it's the cruisers which are admirals. Both are. Okay. Well, I like my Von Arnhem class. It's fine. Right, planes. How are my planes looking? You still got one plane. How have you only got one? Oh, you have no manpower. That's what the problem is. Select a technology to research. It is 38. That would take almost an entire year. Still too far away. I think that does need to wait until 39.